Hello guys, welcome back to a new episode of the Manta project. Today we're going to start seam sealing the car. So we will get all the seams nice and protected, so all the dust from sanding the filler and everything won't go in, and also we're going to protect it from future oxidation and getting moisture into the seam seals. So first off, we need to prepare the surface, take all the junk off, wipe everything down, and then we're going to discuss the method, because we're probably going to use two methods. So let's say a rough seam sealing, and then the final one to make a nice, let's say, factory spec look to it, a little bit of structure. I'm going to show you, so that and a lot more coming up in this episode. Okay, so talking about seam sealer, we normally have three types of seam sealers that are, let's say, commonly used. One comes in a big can, then you dip a brush into it and apply it with the brush. I don't have that one. I have the other two options, which come in this tube form, but these two are a little bit different in application process. Both are polyurethane based, and this one is, let's say, a standard polyurethane seam sealer that you apply with a pressing gun such as this. This one is a little bit old and a little bit dirty, but it works nonetheless. You press the seam sealer into the seal, and then you can either spread it out with a brush or use a glove and a finger, and off you go. But be careful on the sharp edges so you don't cut yourself. We have made a small sample like this, and we're going to use seam sealer. Put it on so I can show you before we go to the car. This is I'm using 3M 08680. Okay, so the other one, this Teroson, this one is a little bit different because it is using compressed air. There's a special gun for it, and you also mix the air into it, so it makes like a structured look, sort of like with the underbody protection. I'm going to show you, this will come in a later step, because we're going to use this one to, let's say, cover off all the uneven gaps, and then we're going to use this one to make this, let's say, more of factory finish. It's going to look nice. Okay, let's do first one test sample, and then let's head off to Manta. Okay, so the first step of the seam sealing is now done. We have seam sealed everything with this polyurethane 3M sealer to, let's say, seal larger gaps. Now this was just, we applied a thin film over it, so we have closed the gap, and we're going to prevent with water getting in and everything. But now we're going to use this one together with the air gun, because this way we can make, let's say, an OEM finish, which granted was applied in the factories a little bit later, but I still like how it looks. I think it's better than, because there's no, let's say, artwork in the brushed seam sealer, unless you like it. To each its own, but I would like to try this now because I have the products, I have the gun to apply it with, and I'm interested to see how it goes. So let's go and do a test run first. So we apply how much air, how much liquid we're going to use to kind of mimic the structure, and then we're going to apply it to the car. Now we have seam sealed the entire chassis and, well, the body. We still need to seam seal the doors, but this will be done as it was the first phase, so just a thin line of the polyurethane seam sealer. Now after this we're going to prepare the car for underbody protection, so it's going to be let's say protected from any stone chips that might do any damage, and also that stuff can promote rust because you damage the protection, water gets underneath, starts to corrode. So we're going to do this next, and yeah, we're going to put the car together, move it to the other garage so we make space, and we'll be back in a couple of days, maybe weeks. In the meantime, I got other stuff to do. We need to assemble the axles, and also we would like to put on the fenders after that, assemble it together so we have proper gaps, and then we would like to start doing all the filler jobs. much of these details and why and how is going to come in next videos, but yeah, came yesterday home from Germany. I picked up the engine for my Manta, which is going to be a little bit spiced up. Had a little problem with the car I was driving there, so I spent 15 hours on a rest stop with a friend, stranded, and then the tow truck came. It was a lot of sketchy moments, but anyways, I'm back and it's time to start working on the Manta again. Okay, so yesterday we have applied a stone chip protection film using 3M. I think it was 08875 because it was the white one. You also can get it in gray one or the black one. Now, what we have to do right now is we have to paint it over. I'm going to use black color, 2 component, polyurethane base. Now, you can, let's say, influence how the structure is going to look by what kind of distance from the part you choose, also a little bit with the nozzle size and also the let's say inlet pressure. Now we have applied 2 different, let's say, structures. Here it's a little bit more heavy because this is the area where it's going to get most, let's say, affected by stones. Now underneath of the cars, let's say in the tunnel and the trunk floor from underneath, those areas are not that exposed, so over there we made it a little bit lighter. Structure appearance is not the way I have envisioned it, but it doesn't matter. It's going to perform equally good, probably even better, because it has more material on. It's going to be more sound deadening and also going to protect the paint from getting stone chips. Now what we have to do today is, because there's a, let's say, a time window, we need to apply the black paint today, so it's going to seal it off, and that's it. The underneath of the car is then going to be ready. We're doing this now because then we can mount the fenders on, and then we can start the filler work, having the parts on the car, because that way it's easier to get all of those lines correct and let's say the surface is evened out. Now we need to get into the spacesuit or some type of protective gear, and we need to put black paint on it. It's going to be a little bit difficult because we have the trolley and the lift arm and everything, so I hope everything will be accessible, but you know, one step at a time, and we will deal with the problems when they appear. So let's get cracking. Okay, this is it for today. We have painted the underside and the inner sides of the fenders so the fenders can go on. Now I need to take off the masking so it's going to dry properly, and then we're going to inspect anything that needs to be worked on, or maybe corrected with a brush or something if I forgot anything. But the problem is that the lighting is not very nice, and the glossy black paint, you kind of don't see everything, if that makes sense. So yeah, I must admit, I felt like a kid on Christmas. See you in the next episode. Bye.